Hi, happy Sunday. Just wanted to have a quick chat. Hope everybody's okay. I've had a lot on the mind. And I've been spending the last few days trying to sack the mind off, and it just comes through fuller. And I don't even know, I just surrender, I give up. I have no resistance to where I'm taking myself on my journey anymore, because it just doesn't make logical sense to me. For about a week now, I've been getting pushes, and I think it's like I've said before, I would describe them as like spiritual downloads, but it'll be, and quite often it's in the in-between sleep and wake state, where I feel like I'm receiving information, who knows what from, who fucking knows, it could be all the shit that I've watched and consumed that day, it could be, just my own dirty, entrenched, subconscious as it is, it could be past experience, whatever, but these things come through to me, and I wish they didn't, because as a base, I'm not particularly interested. I was always quite turned off by and I'm changing my perceptions on these things all the time, but science, for example, and that could be quite a feminine thing, maybe, I don't know, and maths as well, it's like, once you start complicating things, then I'm turned off. It's like, not bothered, but I don't disrespect or disregard the process or the data, and this is kind of like what I was feeling into the other day. It's like, as I've said a million times, and I'm sure we've all felt, it's like things change with the perception. The same thing can be seen in a completely different way with a different perspective, the whole of your reality. That's the bigger version, and then the smaller version is everything that we perceive around us. And so even if you just look at, because obviously I've been doing a lot of these paintings, the natal chart paintings, and within the signs of the constellations and the symbols of the planets and all the other astrological signs and symbols and the alchemical symbols and stuff, within those I've been obviously painting them over and over again. It's like the alphabets within there, within the stars, within the zodiac wheel. The numbers are, it's like, you can see them, can't you? Maybe not on that, but yeah, there's all the numbers and letters in it, and it's like everything comes from there, and the more the more I allow myself to follow through with my intuition and my intrigue around astrology and things like that, it's unravelling a lot more for me, and it's making me have to learn more, which is good. It's just, some of it, the information is so sort of hypocritical, really, and that's the problem. So I think all this coronavirus shit, just skipping back a little bit, and this whole week, topping up yesterday with our prime dickhead wearing a mask and America's prime dickhead wearing a mask, I was just like, oh my God, the shit show continues, and the social shaming, and just the whole backwards nature of everything. The thing is, you can send yourself fucking mad with this. It's like, when I had my awakening, and, I started diving down the rabbit holes and looking into flat earth, and when you're looking into things like flat earth, you've given up the paradigm that's presented to you anyway. It's like you've given it up. I don't think I ever held that solid anyway. The solar system, how it's spun to us, spun. Everything's spun, isn't it? And the perceptions are spun as well, and so it's super interesting. So anyway, I'm skipping now, but back to, say, perceptions of things. So oh child, this isn't finished. The Cancer, the 69. So if you take a 6 and you look at it that way, you see a 6. Look at it from above, you see the 9. Wherever you are, you're going to be seeing something differently. And with this coronavirus shit, my wall looks vile, doesn't it? Look at all those mucky fingerprint. So, what the fuck was my point here? Yeah, with the coronavirus, you know, with the data and the numbers, and I've seen it from the start. I'm sure anyone who's watching me also has, you know. It's not like it's, you know, preaching to the choir. It's like, ugh, but you have to speak out, don't you? So it's like, I've seen so many, and I've tried to go back and find them or collate them, but my mind don't work like that. I'm onto something different already, you know, with my laptop. But just showing these ways that data can be manipulated. And wasn't it fucking something recently like, oh, Bill Gates tweeted his fucking favourite books or something, and the top one was something like how to distort with figures or something, was it? How to manipulate with data, how to lie with statistics, that was it. How to lie with statistics. And if you can spin something in the right way, with the right perspective and the right sway and the right influence, you can completely agree that the 9 is the 6 or the 6 is a 9 or, you know, blah, blah. So with the lockdown bullshit and all this COVID jazz, just seeing how they're manipulating the data and people not realising that it can be manipulated. It's like, people are like, it's the science. It's the science. I'm so sick of that word. It's been tainted for me. It's like, and then people are like, well, science is the process. And it's like, right, okay, let's say data then. Digit, figure, symbol, something. If you've got this data and you're portraying it in this way, it could be anything, you know, maybe like, I remember there was one with a Leicester lockdown. They've had to lock down a certain part of England for a little bit longer because of this imaginary R figure. And, you know, it's like laughable because we see it happening. We saw it happening as it come along. It's like, introduce the handy 1 to 5, you know, fucking clocking system. Danger, danger, alert level, that's it. So that's a very clever way to just be at the whim of someone else. And then if that fails, you introduce the very clever R number. And then, you know, it still doesn't change the shit that was valid at the start of all this. Like, who's saying these tests are fucking valid? Isn't there like 80% false positive on some of them? You know, it's like, there's that president of, God knows, Zimbabwe or something, who sent all his off, and, you know, they were testing fucking goats and walls and fruit, and it was coming back positive for coronavirus. It's absolute bollocks. So yeah, but anyway, using the same figure, you can see how they're manipulating it. So this Leicester one, I can't even remember what the stats were, but it was like, it was a hugely inflated stat, like whatever it was, they times it by 100 so they could show it, you know, like 1 in 100 or 100 times more than such and such or whatever. And when you work it back down, you know, they've manipulated it, and you can see, and then you can see how it would work in the other favour if it was presented or spun in a different way as well. So I'm just going to show you this poster over here. I'm going to have to pull it off the wall because I've had a right little laugh with myself. Because obviously on my journey, as I've been searching for the truth, searching for that something that I'll never find, never find probably. But anyway, so I was like, right, the first thing that bothered me was that we're told that the sun is 93 million miles away, and it just makes me laugh. I can't believe that anyone can believe that. Not just because of how close and how hot it seems and how we can see it interacting with the clouds and sun in a different way, sun rays, again, you know, like technology of these days, being able to zoom in so far to things, it's like things are coming to the surface. But anyway, while I still look like a loony and everyone else who believes in the heliocentric model looks normal, I'll just back up myself by saying, you know, it's like when you've removed your belief in some bullshit anyway, you're free to see and question different things. So I'm like, right, 93 million miles away, that fucking doesn't make sense. So anyway, and then looking more into the flat earth stuff over the years, and I don't pin myself down as a flat earther because I've not yet seen a model that completely makes sense. I am going to link in a video down below of this guy who I found recently, and his model, or his, yeah, it's making sense to me. And it's not, you know, when you type in flat earth and you see the flat earth models, you know, with a dome over them, or the first 100 pages of bullshillery, I was going to say, you know, that you get on Google with the floating plate in earth and all that jazz. Yeah, this guy, it seems to make sense, and, you know, observing the 2 night sky rotations of stars and going, what, you know, what the fuck, none of this makes sense. If we were on this spinning ball that's spinning around everything's going crazy, we just wouldn't see these same phenomena in the sky wheel, the clock, the zodiac clock that never fucking changes. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, I didn't think, kid's dad was like, right, I'll get you a astronomer's starter pack, you know, because I'm trying to learn more. And so I put the poster of the solar system up on the wall, and I was just having a little read through it this morning. I have had a big old laugh, actually. I've seen the book is here, Exploring Stars and Planets, and it is absolutely hilarious. There's not a real photo in it of it. But as I'm reading it, I've got so many questions, you know, things that don't make sense. Maybe I'll allow myself to do this for hours, but like this poster over there, should I do it on a different... I mean, things don't make sense. For example, I can see here, let me put it over here. Dog's sleeping on the floor. I don't think I'll be able to see it properly right. Supposedly, that's the fucking sun. There's Mercury, there's Venus, there's Earth, right? We're supposed to be 93 million miles away from that, okay? There's Mars, asteroid belt, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune right over there. Can you see the scale of that? So it doesn't make sense, especially with the figures that they're using. It's like, I had to go and ask this morning because this is how they're writing it down. So it's like, what does it say over here? Okay, so for example, this one, Mars, it says distance from the sun, 227.9 million kilometres away from the sun. So I'm like, I can understand that figure, 200 and whatever million. But when they start writing it down like that, like 2,870 million kilometres, I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, so I had to work it out. Oh, don't like maths. But it's 2.87 billion. So why don't they write 2.87 billion instead of saying 2,870 million kilometres? It's like, because the difference between million and a billion is 1,000. It's a fucking long way. So my point is, here we be on the Earth, right? Down there. Sorry, I'm holding this like a mong. So we're there, right? This is Neptune, apparently. That is 4.5. Well, it says 4,500 million kilometres away, right? There's Uranus, 2,870 million. So why are they saying that? You know, it's confusion and manipulation with data as well. But my point is, right, Pluto, apparently, the comets, the ghostly wanderers, it says, they're even further on, right, along that scale of distance, that timeline, if you will. And it says here, it's so fucking funny, I should have just sat here. It says the most distant objects in the solar system are the comets. Billions of them surround the sun in a huge cloud that extends halfway to the nearest star. Blah, 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 right? Oh shit, where's that Pluto bit? Oh, that's it, dwarf planet, sorry. Beyond Neptune lies a swarm of icy bodies, right? Beyond Neptune. There's Neptune, you got it? Beyond Neptune, right? That, apparently, is Pluto. One of them is Pluto. Once thought to be a planet until astronomers realised how small it was, right? So Pluto used to be classed as a planet. People used to look up and we knew where Pluto's essential. Pluto. So it's not a planet, it's so small and so far away. So if Neptune, right, is 4,500 million kilometres away, that means billion, doesn't it? 4.5 billion kilometres away. How the fuck did anyone ever see it in the first place to think it was a planet, let alone to then be downgraded? You know, oh no, astronomers then realised that it's too small to be a planet. It's like, how did you see it in the first place? It's beyond me. It's beyond me. The fucking craziness and the stupidity of what we're supposed to believe. That whole poster is such a fucking joke. I'm going to have to do a whole video on it. And I might go through this as well. Ush. And it stresses me out because I can see how things don't always have to be manipulated with malice aforethought. It can be general ignorance, you know, and tunnel vision. You know, there's so many ways, and I feel like my whole awakening, I've been trying to get my head around for them to interpret to the video or to others around me or whatever, how mass deception happens, how easy it is to deceive at mass. It's easier on mass, isn't it? And yeah, just literally going through these and just go like, that is bullshit. If that's true, then how does that make sense? If that's true, you know, and that's the same thing that's happening with the coronavirus at the minute, and it's fucking frustrating, it really is, but what can we do? Ugh, onwards and upwards. So the will of transcendence is what we need. Yeah, I was having a little laugh because my moon is in the 3rd house, overthinking, but also communication as well. And I'm just trying to honour myself. You know, I'm trying to honour the process. I'm going through some heavies. But yeah, I saw this sentence the other day and I wrote it down because it was just beautiful and really poignant. And also I think this is sometimes what's a bit trippy. It's like when you've had psychedelics and stuff and you know that experience, most people, if you're on your own spiritual journey, these experiences happen sober, you know, the mystical experience. Personally, I believe that we release little bits of DMT and, you know, our own chemical makeups, and we can experience all sorts within our own vessel. But yeah, this quote, it's just a sentence, and it said, "The psychotic drowns in the ocean in which the mystic swims." And I was like, oh God, yeah, you know. I've spoken in videos before about experiencing, you know, I guess it would have been like a psychotic episode for a couple of weeks, you know, right at the start of my awakening. After seeing a crystal materialise in thin air and a big flash of emerald green, you know, it was like weave myself back to earth somehow or be carted off to the nut house. And it feels like with the madness that's going on and the complete opposite narratives that we're tuning into, it's enough to send people psychotic, you know. So we have to ground and we have to be the mystic who swims in the ocean in which the psychotic drowns in. And that's what's happening, and we're watching people around us drowning, and yeah, it's this reactive energy, and I can't even begin to start about how trippy it actually is that these things are going on in the external world, how things are changing and what force is driving it. You know, these I heard someone call them lefty looniverse, the lefty looniverse the other day. It's like, woof. Oh man, so I don't know, I think I had a lot of shit to say and I don't think I've said any one of them, but I'm going to put a video down by this guy. He's getting trolled to fuck, the poor bastard. He's only got 200 subscribers. His name's Lindsay Harris, and I'm really enjoying the way his mind's working as he's trying to perceptualise and attribute what we see in the universe, in the observable sky, with physics and science disregarding the bullshit that we've obviously been spun. And it's working for me, but yeah, his channel's full of trolls, so if anybody's genuinely, you know, interested, go and show him a bit of support and blah blah. So yeah, well, all we have to do is be ourselves, and really the change does come from us, and it's the vibrational shift first for us to move into the manifestation of that in the physical, and it's going to happen. It's like, come on. I don't know what's going on in the skies. I think Mars is still in Aries, and I don't know whether Mercury or Neptune's just done something. I think Venus is about to come out of retrograde, so I'm actually feeling like, and today I've got a bit of time on my own, I've got all sorts of ideas of where I want to go, you know, with my research, my consciousness and my notes and blah blah blah. So I'm feeling good because it's been quite a heavy week. And yeah, anyway, yeah, last weekend I went to meet up with another YouTuber, another fellow soul, MJ from All to Love, and it was 100% incredible to look at another soul and see myself. It was beyond words, and it made it all feel so fucking real. This is so real. And yeah, it's just strange. I quite often feel like, I don't know if anyone ever saw that old reality show, really old one, called Shipwrecked. I think it was like 2 teams on 2 different islands, and they were trying to survive, and they used to go to a video cam and whatever. But you know, when I do my YouTube videos and when I watch the people that I resonate with, that's what it feels like. It's like tuning into another piece of you who's, you know, in this survival game, you know, and we're all checking in around the world. It's like, how's it going for you? How's it going with you? But sometimes it really does feel like there's a finite amount of players in that, and that's not with an ego. That's probably, you know, with the intent, the energetic intent for change, you know, for the shift in consciousness, the paradigm shift, the spiritual awakening, you know, and for that to happen, yeah, we just need to believe in ourselves. The power is within. So bloody beautiful. But yeah, I was picking up on the psychotic delusion of the collective, you know, and how easy it is just to lose your shit these days. So yeah, that'll do me for today. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. What a fucking crazy world. Reach out if you need anything or want anything, or if you want a painting. I've got big size, medium size, and a small size, and I can do them quickly and with lots of fun now. So email me if you're interested. If not, I hope everybody's alright. Let's all keep our shit together. I'm always speaking for myself here. Yeah. Gosh. Happy Sunday, bye.